Welcome back to another episode of the Six Frame Podcast.
Woo! Hey! Whoa, that was
terrible.
Very enthusiastic.
That was terrible.
I love the commitment. You guys are great.
What episode is this?
22.
All right.
22. How you say that in Spanish?
22.
All right. Isn't that a Pitbull song?
Oh no.
I could swear that's a Pitbull. I don't know. Maybe
Somebody fact check.
Well, anyways,
Yeah,
we're here.
continue.
Let's get the party started. So let's dive right in. Leading off.
Kevin.
Heyo.
Alexis.
All right. Jamal.
Clea.
Jacob.
And Lamp.
And Purudu.
Now Spider-Man. Hey.
For real, let's go ahead and get this thing.
Let's get it started with the first topic.
All right, so we're kicking Jacob out because we're about to.
I might be out, but Mickey Mouse always stays.
Oh. Jesus Christ. Oh my goodness. All right, so now we can get into the tea because we're about to spoil all this for Spider-Man. So if you haven't watched it, fair warning.
Yeah.
We're about to go into the deets. So I don't know who wants to start it off. I mean, you guys just saw it. So Lamp, how'd you like it?
Oh, it was great. It was fun. It was amazing. It fucked me up, man. It was awesome. Fun movie. Very cool.
Very cool.
The post credit scene, that landing fucked me up so badly, man. Like holy shit. I just want to know like what the new phase is about. So like
for
we
phase
had,
4.
yeah,
okay.
like we had the whole Infinity Saga go through. So like what is the focus now going forward? That's what I'm curious for. I thought it was gonna set it up more, with the post credit scene, but I guess they sort of did with like Nick Fury all the way at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, my head, bro.
Space.
It's a lot. No, it's a lot to wrap your mind around because they're ending one decade of Marvel movies to, I'm guessing, start a whole nother decade of Marvel movies.
On the ride, I'm ready to go.
No, definitely, man. This is
what better way successor is Spider-Man.
Yeah, the poster board of Marvel, which has always been the front runner for comics. So that's why I think MCU as a whole has just been so cool because they took Iron Man and kind of made him the guy, the face of Marvel. And now that it's wrapped up with him, he's done. Now Spider-Man can come in and pretty much fill the shoes of Tony Stark, which is what we're seeing from this movie, at least, as far as how it began to the way it ended.
It's pretty much Peter Parker's Tony Stark.
Yeah, that's the way it's going. Kevin, how'd you like it?
I like it. It's just, I don't know how to describe it because it was so much at once.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I want to say, because just like Lap, I was thinking like, how what's this next phase?
Mm-hmm.
But when you watch the movie, it's like it doesn't really give you a phase of what's to come.
Mm-hmm.
It just gives you a Spider-Man story.
Yeah.
So that's the Spider-Man story. I really love it, enjoy it. For them to go, abroad and meeting Nick Fury,
Right.
Happy, and what's it? Peter Parker's Aunt May.
Aunt May.
Seeing Aunt May again.
Yeah.
Explaining when they disappear, they come back, and people get older.
Yeah, so we'll get into that. Definitely, we definitely got to talk about that. Alexis, how'd you like it?
I loved it. It was amazing. Yeah. I was never really into Spider-Man before.
What?
So like no, I don't like spiders, so I always had like
So
naturally I was never a fan of Spider-Man. And the last Spider-Man movie I saw in theaters was Spider-Man 3, so I
the best one.
I wouldn't say that exactly.
We need to remove.
What do you
Can we
So,
have Jacob come back?
after that one, I was like, I didn't even watch Andrew Garfield's
no.
Spider-Man's.
I mean, I watched it, but
No, I didn't even watch it.
It had his moments.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Tom Holland is amazing. He's so good.
he's precious.
Oh
Protect
my god,
the boy.
he is fantastic.
Protect the child.
He is so fantastic. He should play Spider-Man forever.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's pretty much where it's going. He's going to be the Spider-Man for a long time, just like Everybody else in the MCU, right, kind of pretty much took that role with that character and made it them. So Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man, Chris Evans, Captain America, and so on and so forth.
But for him, since he's young,
yeah,
it's gonna be a decade of him being Spider-Man.
Trust dude. Like Disney knows what they're doing. Like they purposely wanted to do the teenage Spider-Man so they can just keep rolling with it.
Hit him with the paddle prod. Come on, Spider-Man. Come on, dance, Night Monkey, dance.
All right, Clea, how did you like it?
Oh my god, that movie punched me in the face.
Nice.
Let me tell you something. The illusion part, like when he was basically just messing with Peter Parker's mind, and the part where like he takes off his fishbowl head and puts it in his hand, I'm like, that's a classic Mysterio right there.
Yeah.
Like wow, and the part where he makes Tony Stark's like armor and the zombie come out, I was like,
yeah,
what
That was cool.
is
that was a nice little
this?
Easter egg.
I want to see more Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio. I mean, I thought it was pretty great.
Yeah.
Like, we all know he didn't die. Come on.
Nah,
It's just, they're just trying to mess with them. I mean, we all know that he took control of Edith, and he probably made Edith say, oh, there's no more illusions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, he probably just, like, escaped somewhere in the back alley or something.
Yeah,
So,
who knows?
But yeah,
It's Mysterio.
I thought that movie was absolutely great. Like, I want more. I want more.
Yeah.
More Spiderman.
More Spiderman. For me, I mean, yeah, I can agree with all of you guys. It was A1. Like, I couldn't have asked for a better film that introduced another villain in the Spider-Man universe. Because, I mean, I'm just tired of always seeing the same, like, three guys every time they try to reinvent the wheel when it comes to Spider-Man.
Willem Dafoe. Ah!
Right. They always want to throw the Green Goblin at you and allude to Dr. Octopus. Like, yes, we know those are like the main baddies, but there's so many other cool bad guys that Spider-Man faces that we have yet to see. So when they threw in Mysterio, I was like, yeah, this is going to be nice. This is definitely going to be a good movie. And yeah, and I mean, I saw it twice, so I got a chance to watch it and like fanboy over it. And then the second time I watched it, I paid a little bit more attention, like spotted some things that I noticed that were cool and able to kind of dissect it a little bit more. So yeah, no, just overall as a movie, it was good. It was definitely good. I left out of that theater satisfied with the end results from it. So what I was going to say too is like, let's break it down. So like in the beginning, they talked about the blip.
I'm not a big fan of that.
You didn't like that?
It's just like calling it the blip. Like it's like the biggest sort of disaster that ever happened in the entire universe.
Right.
And they call it blip.
Yeah,
I mean, granted, that's what it is, but like...
Yeah, because they don't... Keep in mind, like, they don't know the truth of what happened.
Oh, for real?
Only the Avengers know. Like, the heroes know. Like, everybody didn't know that Thanos came to Earth and he had the Infinity Gauntlet. Because that's too much information.
Okay,
you know what I mean? Right. For the average person, like, they don't need to know all that, like, what's happening. Like, they probably... The ones who stayed, they probably remember some sort of weird, maybe alien invasion or the people turning into ash, but... I think to that extent of it being like this greater power out there. Because, you know, they don't want the little people to worry. Let that be the big heads. Like, they'll take care of that problem. You guys just go to work, pay your taxes.
Wouldn't you want to know? Like, if you were one of the people?
Yeah, no, sure. Because that's...
I'd like be dissected.
Like,
that's
why
the
hell am I turned to dust?
Right, but that's why they call it the blip. Because they don't know...
Like, what?
They don't know what happened. So that's why I was just like, yeah, it was just a blip in time. Like, we were like, bloop, everybody was gone, and like, bloop, they're back.
I want to say, side note, those people that blimp when they're in a helicopter, do they blimp when they're in the sky?
Back daddy.
Blip.
That's a good question.
Actually,
that's a loophole.
That's another.
That's a loophole
actually
question.
pretty funny because now that I think about it, in the beginning when they were talking about the blip, they showed the clip of Wait, what?
They were playing like a
they were playing like
high school
band.
game, and then the whole band appeared out of nowhere when they were playing basketball.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning you see like the high school marching band disappearing.
Oh, okay. So
and
they
then
came
when
back
you
to a
and then they
basketball
cut
game.
back to the future where they're playing a game.
Okay,
and
that's
they appear.
I thought it was like the band, and then they put out the band again, but I don't know.
No. It was a time lapse. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was them 5 years in the future, and then the band came right back to where they were, where they disappeared in time.
So both in the helicopter and the airplane, they falling, bro.
Yeah.
Bloop. Oh!
I feel sorry for them. A small sacrifice to bring back everybody else.
Yeah.
But that part I thought was kind of cool because they were trying to like make sense of it. Because you kind of think about it, you're like, all right, so they brought everybody back. Then like, what happens? Do they like just pick up where they left off? Are things kind of weird? And then from there, it leads into that charity event that Aunt May was doing.
Yeah.
Where they're talking about the people that were affected by the blip.
And they were displaced because
they were all displaced.
Everybody who disappeared, all their houses and belongings, they put them away in storage.
Right.
And they sold off their houses.
They sold their houses, right, whatever was left behind.
Yeah.
Because she was saying how she appeared back in her apartment and like, it was like a guy and his family and wife and the wife thought she was the mistress hiding in the apartment. He's like, so they try to like, all right, let's wrap this up. So let's go ahead and move forward. So y'all ain't got to focus on it too much. We'll explain it like real quick, like 20 minutes long time.
That's crazy though.
I know, just to think about it, to fathom the idea, it's crazy. So that part of it was cool. I thought that like brought it in full circle. And then next we jump into Spider-Man, Peter Parker, heading overseas during his little Euro trip with his class.
Because they planned the trip because they missed some sort of trip for their class because they disappeared.
Yeah. So I was like making up to them since they weren't there. Yeah. What were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say like the Aunt May and Happy's relationship.
Oh yeah,
Happy. Because like what? That was the most funniest part.
Yeah, that was cute. How he was trying to keep it a secret because Happy felt kind of awkward letting Peter Parker know that he was like romantically involved with Aunt May, and Aunt May was like, she was all chill and cool with it, and Peter Parker was like, "What's going on here?" Like, what was that interaction I just saw? Y'all looking googly eyes at each other. Yeah, that was funny. Did you guys want to throw in on the beginning stage? No.
What else happened at the beginning?
I don't know.
Well, let's say with Europe, and then
they went to
Peter Parker's trying to confess his love to MJ.
So she is confirmed as MJ.
As far as I know, like she's just MJ. Like she's not, Mary Jane.
You didn't hit the Jackpot Tiger?
None of that. So she's just made up for this movie franchise. From what I've read. I don't know if they're ever going to reveal it that she's really Mary Jane, but
for all I know, she's Mary J. Blige.
Yeah, okay. Yep, and as soon as they break up, she's going to make a song about Peter Parker, Spider-Man, y'all. And just ruin it. Oh, man. But yeah, that part was cool because now they're showing us like the struggle of him, dealing with being Peter Parker and trying to be Spider-Man. Like, he's like, I just want to chill. I just want to enjoy the trip. I want to hang with friends. I want to confess how much I like this girl.
And that's when it started becoming a teen romance movie.
Right. So that little part, I get it. I understand it because they're trying to reach the masses. They want to make them relatable. Yeah. Which Spider-Man has always been. That's why he's been like the most popular of all the characters from Marvel because he's relatable. We can't relate to Tony Stark. We can't relate to Thor. I can't relate to Captain America.
We can relate to Thor now.
Well, now, yeah. Overweight and he plays video games, so that's right up my alley.
Beer all day.
Right, drinks beer. Right, talks noise on the fucking headset. So, yeah, that's me. I'm ready. I'm ready to be Thor. But, yeah, so I think so that's needed. I get it. That part doesn't take away from it, for me at least. And then we step into the
trip to Magneto.
Magneto.
Mysterio.
Mysterio.
He was coming with water elementals.
They imagine baited us, bro. Like they baited us hard with that trailer. Having us think about like it was a whole different dimension thing.
I mean, for the average viewer, yes.
I am an average viewer.
So yeah, so in your case, like you wouldn't know. Like I don't know, did you know, Alexis? Or you were kind of going along with it?
I was just going along with it.
Right. So like Kevin, me, I don't know if Clea, you know a little bit about Mysterio, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so like we weren't like easily fooled because like when I saw it, I was like, bro, Mysterio's totally trolling these people. Like, there's no way he's update. We got a virus, y'all. Hold on. Yeah, stay off them websites. But like we knew that like nah, so this is an illusion because I know for a fact like Mysterio is like the master of illusion. This is his thing. This is what he does. He tricks people. He makes them get on his side so they can all eventually turn against Spider-Man. Like that's just what he does. So when I saw it, I'm like, nah, there's no elemental launchers. That's like that's too easy of an excuse. Go ahead, Clea.
Now that you say that, like towards the beginning, like I was watching the movie and even the trailer, it kind of weirded me out, or I guess it kind of like maybe get suspicious when he was like, "Oh, these elementals destroyed my world." What? Bro, what? That's kind of like small little monsters to take on the whole world. Mm-hmm. And then you got Thanos here. Like, what is this?
Yeah, that's true.
Like that
that's
to
true.
me was like suspicious, and I'm like, I know you're lying. I mean, you're the master of deception, but you really lying this time.
Right. You're like, do you know what they just went through? Like, get out of here. You coming here with Earth, Wind, and Fire, like goddamn Avatar, Captain Planet about to roll through here.
When he was in the meeting, he was like, "The fire is the most dangerous one. It destroyed my family." Touching the ring, like, man, that's some bullshit.
Right. He's trying to rub the ring on his finger, so everybody's like, "Oh man, he misses his family."
Or he's from another alternate universe. Like, how on earth did you come from there to here?
Right. So like, they threw that in there to throw off the people who know the comics. So that's what gave us that little bit of doubt. Because in my mind, I'm like, okay, if he did come from an alternate dimension or world or whatever, like that's cool because that opens the door for more possibilities for other characters to get pulled in. Which is like, that then leads us down the road to X-Men and all Fantastic Four and all that good stuff that we want to see. So I think that's why they kind of just blurted that in there. So like, oh shoot, they're doing alternates now? Uh-oh. This thing about to blow up real quick. This is going to get crazy. Nope. So like, when it finally got down to the wire and they had that, what was it, the attack when they went to the theater, right?
Yeah, the fire.
The fire monster came and they were on the Ferris wheel. And I don't know if you noticed, like, Night Monkey at this point, because he has the stealth suit on that he gave him, and so he shoots the webbing and he hits one of the projectors.
Yeah.
And it falls, and he was like, "What?" He noticed it too. He was like, "What the heck was that?" And then the thing keeps attacking, so it kind of distracts him, so he doesn't really pay attention to it. And then from there, it picks up, and then that's when you're kind of like, "All right, something's off here." Like, well, what did he just shoot at? Like, when I first time I saw it, I'm like, what the hell was that? Did he shoot I thought it was the little...
centerpiece?
No. The thing that he was trying to get for MJ, the Black Dahlia.
Oh.
Remember, he kept talking about that flower because of the murder or whatever. So I thought it was that for some reason. I don't know why.
It was the pendant that flew over there.
Right, that's what I thought it was. And then the second time I watched it, I'm like, oh, okay, that's the projector from the... Okay, I get it.
Like, I saw this invisible thing, so, that has to be... projector.
Right, exactly. So that's, but they did it so fast they didn't want you to like pay attention. He was like, what the heck? And then the thing like tried to hit him. So it kind of went so quick to try to throw you off real quick.
Not only that, but like the destruction, it seemed kind of like mild.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe that's just me, like the way I see it, but it just kind of felt controlled. Yeah. Obviously.
Well, yeah.
Basically, it was just like one little area. It didn't like go way off like a regular monster would, but that part was like, the fuck you not?
You were gonna say something?
Do the projections? So, because I didn't really know anything about Mysterio, I like kind of went like average viewer, bro. I heard of him, but I didn't know all what he does.
Right,
fishbowl now.
So I was like learning while watching the movie. So like the projections do they interact with the real world or even the destruction that like the elementals cause, or is that all like a projection?
It's a projection, and the little droid bots that were flying around, like they were causing the damage.
Yeah.
Oh,
So through the illusion, they would shoot stuff and break stuff down. So as the projection is over it, it would cause like the illusion of this blowing up and that falling, when they're just really shooting at it to make it break and fall over.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that way you can see the aftermath once the illusion passes over it.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it also makes sense because, like, I'm now noticing it now because there was like a scene like in the beginning when the water elemental first showed up, and you see Mysterio like flying through the city and everybody getting wet. There was like a part that wasn't as wet. So it's like why is this area so dry though?
Yeah, so
it's
that
like,
makes
oh,
sense.
okay, so like just thinking back at it, it's like, oh, this guy done duped me so hard.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I feel that.
Yep, and then when because in the to kind of jump around a bit here, when he gets the glasses from Nick Fury,
Oh my god!
from Tony Stark, he left him a little gift, and he puts them on, and he sees that it's the AI system that he left for him, Edith.
Mm-hmm.
Even death, I'm the hero, or whatever it was. Whatever.
So cheap, yeah.
Even in death, I'm still the hero.
Yeah, even in death, I'm still the hero. So yeah, and he gets that, and he learns how to operate it and use it. And then fast forward to that scene,
the MacGuffin of the movie.
Yep, the MacGuffin of the movie. So fast forward to that, it's funny because he thinks he's like, oh, I just had an epiphany. You're a hero from your world. You're a leader or a general or whatever he called him.
I'm a soldier.
Yeah, he's a soldier. He's like, you deserve these glasses because I think what was it? He read too deep into the message. Like, come on, bro. It's Tony Stark. He ain't no you know what I mean? He's not a deep guy.
He's not Doctor Strange.
Right, he's not Doctor Strange. He doesn't have like an ulterior motive or like a deeper meaning. Hey, these are for you. I need you to use these and take the mantle. That's it. I didn't mean for you to choose who should be next or try to figure your life out. No, step up, son. This is it.
I might look at that like, what the
I know, right?
Yeah, Tony Stark's in there like,
yeah.
come on, kid.
You're looking down like this kid. Goddamn. Whatever. He gotta figure it out. And it's his lesson learned, right? Now he knows.
Bro, that scene made me so angry. Because, like, I already knew Mysterio is, you know, with illusions, but it's like, I didn't know when they were going to really come in and really, like, dupe us. And when that part happened, I'm like, you're so stupid.
So when he was giving it to him, like, I was in the chair, like, you got the dumbest motherfucker.
Well, I guess I was stupid too because I was like, And the thing is, like, I knew Mysterio was
like,
bad.
Oh, this is nice.
I knew he was a villain. But it just didn't seem that way to me. So I'm like,
Like,
this is okay,
Like
right?
he was too nice. It threw me off,
Threw me
bro.
off.
Because he kept trying to deny, no, you know, Tony Stark
Yeah.
gave that to you.
And I felt like,
I
yo,
It's
felt
all
that
part of
shit.
the act.
Welcome to the Avengers, my guy. Welcome to the
Yeah, he
Avengers.
said, welcome to him. He's like, oh, man, this is an honor. Thank you. And he put him on. He's like, oh, look good, you know? And, like, when he looked at him with the glasses, I mean, you know, for a split second, he had, like, a Tony Stark moment because he had the beard and the hair.
Yeah.
He was just looking at him.
I was like, oh, my heart.
He's like,
Tony
yeah,
Stark.
that fits you. That's why he really gave it to him. He's like, yep, you're going to fill that void that I need right now.
Well, I was
So
shaking my
please
head the
take
whole
these
entire
glasses.
time.
I know, and I'm just sitting, I'm like, this boy. And then as soon as he left and you see the little bar start to glitch, I was like, yep, here it is.
That was the moment I died.
Yep,
That was
it
the
is.
moment the movie killed
I-
me.
And everything was like,
When that happened, I was like,
what's happening?
Like, Nani?
you know what's funny? Because when that happened, I was like, oh, here it comes. And then I hear it, like, beside me, because he wasn't right there, right next to me. And then he was over there by himself, and I just hear, ah! And I was like,
Was that lamp?
that lamp? And Clea's over here talking to this man, like, yeah.
She's telling him, yep, I knew it. Clea knew.
Clea's senses were tingling.
Your Peter tingle.
Yo, that was my favorite part of the movie.
The Peter tingle.
tingles.
The Peter tingle.
I was cracking up.
The Peter tingle.
I really like that anime was involved with
Spider-Man.
with Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
I think because at this moment, you know, you have to evolve from the comic books,
Right, exactly.
and so for him, so they take that step of him trying to, you know, accept that people are going to know who he is, and that's pretty much the part of the movie.
What happened?
Except that people are going to know.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
we'll talk about that when we get there.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that point.
But for right now, he's trying to, you know,
hush.
finally accept that most people are going to know.
Right, they're going to figure it out. Exactly.
Yeah, and he's going to tell the ones that he likes and loves.
Right, the people he cares about and
Yes.
trusts. Exactly. And then that's it. Kind of, you can see the movie like slowly start to lead into that. And like even the class, they were just oblivious, I guess. They didn't really pay him any attention. Except for the one kid. What was his name? The Chinese kid? Steve?
Brad.
And he was like, seriously? No one is noticing? Like, every time something happens, like, Peter just disappears? And they're like, no. What are you talking about?
Shut up, Brad.
Shut up, Brad. Right? Or the MJ turns it on him, and she's like, yeah, you were taking pictures of him with his pants down in the bathroom. What's up with that, Brad? And then Flash Thompson's like, yeah, bro, what's up with that? All right. And then the professor, I can't think of his name in the movie, but J.B. Smoove, the comedian, he pulls him to the side. He's like, all right, this is me being like a cool professor right now. You can't be doing it, man. You can't take pictures of people in the bathroom. What you doing? That's not cool.
That man was dumbfounded, bro.
Brad was just like, are you serious? Like, what the hell just happened? Like, everything just flipped on me. That's right, because his friends had his back. They flipped it real quick on him.
Mad homies.
Yeah, mad homies. That was funny. But then, all right, so back to Mysterio revealing everything. Yeah, he got up on the bar. He gave his little speech.
That speech was amazing.
That speech was
It
amazing.
was good.
And what I like too is that how he tied in all the other characters from all the other Iron Man movies and their moments, and how he. Because at the end of the day, like, especially since we know the books a little bit, Tony Stark's a dick. Like, he's always been a dick.
Yeah.
He's super, like, you know what I mean? He's pompous. He drinks a lot. He's alcoholic. He's mega rich. He's super smart. So of course he thinks he's above everybody. So when he has those people like Quentin Beck in the movies, example of him, like when he made that invention for the hologram system and how it showed that flashback that was from Civil War, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that was from Civil War. Yeah, when he does that little flashback of him as a young boy and he's talking to his parents and they left and then that same day they ended up dying. And he called the system Barf or whatever.
Barf, yeah.
And then he fired the guy and he's like, I created this system. This was going to change lives. And he calls it Barf and fires me.
Because he was unstable.
Right, because he told him he was unstable. Ooh. Like he said. And then he showed the other guy from the first Iron Man movie who was supposed to be helping the guy build the suit. And he's like, Tony Stark made it in the cave. He's like, you can't even make it in the lab. So that guy got, shitted on. And then they kind of tied in everybody else who had their little Tony Stark running moments. They all worked for him. And he was just a horrible boss to them, obviously. So I like how they kind of pulled everybody in. And like, it was a team effort to get back at him. And they just been plotting and working on it this entire time.
It's a group of disgruntled employees.
That's exactly what it was. Who all got fired at one point or another.
But at the same time, it was like a Scooby-Doo moment. They were like all those Scooby-Doo bad guys.
Right, exactly. Just kind of pulling off the mask. Right, revealing themselves. So that part was cool. And then that was it. That was the moment where we were like, all right, so we know for a fact that Mysterio's a bad guy.
That's what I realized.
That's when y'all woke up.
Yes.
Yep, that was it right there. Bam, there's the moment. There's the wow moment.
Evil all this time.
Yep, dum dum dum. And I like that they did it early on. They didn't wait till like halfway through the movie.
It was I.
Right?
Yeah, and it was really quick when they had the reveal, and then they had Peter like realize that he's the bad guy.
Right. When he had that like,
because it happened at the same.
He had that like oh shit moment.
Because it happened at the same scene. Like after that scene, it's the oh shit moment because he goes out with MJ. Yeah. And MJ's like pulls out things like, hey, look, I found this. Like, what is this?
Yeah, because he tells him, he's like, all right, kid, I'll give you a 50-50 chance. You're kind of weird. So he's like, oh, thanks. And then he goes and meets MJ. And then that's when she hits him with the, I found this. And he messes with the projector and it creates one of the elemental storm monsters. Yeah. And he's like, what? He's like, who the hell will do this?
And by the way, you're Spider-Man.
Right. Yeah, she figured that out too.
All at the same time.
All at the same time. They just hit you with the bam bam. And he's like, what? No. That was Night Monkey. She's like, so really? He's like, yeah. Maybe he's a spider monkey. I don't know.
That was a good one.
And then, like, when he thought about it and saw Mysterio and the illusion fighting it, this is for my family.
That was so over the top,
was so
bro.
cringy.
Like, get out of here, bro.
Yeah, because now that you know it's fake, you're like, oh, now I know he's putting it on. Come on, bro. And that's when it kind of clicked. He's like, okay, yes, I'm Spider-Man. You're right, MJ. I just fucked up. I gotta go. It was too late then. It was a wrap. He already got it. He took off. And then, then he has to reach back out to your boy, Nick Fury, and let him know, like, bro, I messed up big time. Like, we gotta change this. And Nick Fury's like, what? Who did you tell? Who all knows? And he tells him, my friend, what's his name? The kid, the chunky kid. He's like his name right now.
I can't see it.
Guy they made up for the movie.
Big man.
Big man.
Well, no, he was Miles' friend.
Huh?
He was Miles Morales' friend.
Oh, he's Miles Morales' friend.
Yeah.
Big Chunkus?
Because somebody look that up. Right?
Yeah, somebody look at the cast.
Was it in
Yes.
Is
Yeah.
it Ned? Okay,
That-
Ned.
You had to
is-
classify as close survivor guy, of course.
Yeah, so then he reveals that, I told Ned.
and possibly his girlfriend.
And possibly his girlfriend. And MJ knows now, too. And just Nick Fury's like, man, you have got to be, like, so gullible. And then he gets, like, shot in the chest. No, that was the second part. He gets shot in the chest. And he's like, oh, shit. And then that's when the illusion happens. And Mysterio's like, oh, thank you for that. Now I know who I need to kill next.
Mm-hmm.
And then the illusion sequence begins. And that illusion sequence was, like, hands down
the best.
the best. Like, it's crazy. It was like comic book 90s Spider-Man
It had
cartoon.
It had all the reference for all the
Mysterio
90s
movie. Yeah, like when I was watching it, I was like, son, this is like straight out of the comics. Like seeing it from the page to the big screen. Like it was just amazing. How he was running into the wall, and when he thought he punched Mysterio, he hit the pillar and fell, and thought he was dropping, and he hit the ground. So it was perfect. It was flawless. Like I would just watch that movie just to see that segment.
Honestly, me too.
Yeah.
And the transitions between each illusion.
Yes.
That jump was so clean. So clean. And when the spider came down and it zoomed in on the eyes and it turned into all the heads of Mysterio.
Terrible.
Like that part was so dope.
No,
And then a
it
zombie Tony
And then
Stark.
you see the zombie. And I was going to say that was like a little Easter egg because there is a zombie comic book series for the Avengers. And it looks just like that with Tony Stark coming out of the grave. And that part was cool. But yeah, man, it was like, forget about it. Like I was sold at that point. It's like, yep, this is it. This is the Spider-Man.
It's like, this is what I want.
Yep. I waited all this time for a legit Spider-Man movie, and I finally got it.
Yep.
Thank you, Mysterio. He gave it to me. And right after that, it just kept rolling. It's like right when you thought the illusion ended,
Yeah.
he was right back in again. Because we thought Nick Fury shot him, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was talking to him, and he's like, pow, and he came out of the illusion and dropped.
That actually got me because I was like,
It did
that's
too.
how they end the movie
And that's how you know it was a great movie. Because that got me too. Like when I saw it, I was like, oh shit, they caught him this soon? Goddamn.
I know, right?
I was like, well, there it is. Maybe they're going to introduce another villain.
Like,
We should be here about another 40, 50 minutes at least. We ain't been in theaters that
But then
long.
when Nick Fury started talking to Peter, I was like,
So,
oh,
who did you
no,
kiss?
it's still an illusion.
Yep. And then as soon as he told him everybody he told, and then that's when he was like, oh, you're so gullible. And then he threw him back into the illusion again, and he was falling, and so it was crazy. And then pow, got hit by the train. Mysterio was like, all right, I need to get his class together, send him on a flight to England, so I can go ahead and take care of that. And it just kept rolling from there. Yeah, man, it was
It
was good stuff.
impressive.
It was very impressive.
I also like
It
to
was a
see,
roller
like,
coaster.
before, like, the sequence where Mysterio's working with the group of people to create the illusions. That's actually one of my favorite part. Because you can see, like, the dramatic effect that, you know, he likes to have, because he wanted to be an actor in the comic, but that
He
didn't
wanted to
work
be a
out.
lead, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
I really,
I
like,
can
that was
see
my
that.
favorite scene too.
Yeah,
that was also my
that
favorite
was
scene.
cool.
Just seeing
Yeah.
him like cinematographize that.
Right, he's like running back.
Everything.
Yeah.
Like, all right, do this, do that, render that again, put that effect in, all that stuff, and it all plays back with the droids inside of
Right.
everything. Like, yes, this is
Rewind.
perfect, beautiful. It's like, is that how they actually make the movies?
Yeah, right?
Well, I like he's wearing his actual the suit that he wears. That's the actual suit.
Right.
And I was like, man, that's how they did the green screen for his actual suit.
Yeah, exactly. That's what makes it so cool. And the lady was working out the wrinkles. It's like, make sure you get them wrinkles out. I could be shaking hands with the queen in like 30 minutes right about now. Get it nice and prepped. And the suit design too, dude. I mean, again, A1, dude. It was like flawless.
It's all on point.
It was on point because whenever they do these, you know what I mean, these characters in these movies, you're always afraid they're gonna change too much, like what they do with the X-Men, like all of their suits and stuff. You know, it was all redrawn and rewritten to kind of fit what they wanted.
Yeah.
So they never took the original design and just thought to kind of build on that, and that's what they did with Mysterio. They took his original concept, like, all right, we're gonna use that color scheme and the design of it, but we'll amp it up. We'll make it a little bit high tech. But it still looked just like straight out of comic
Yeah,
books.
because in the MCU universe, it's all kind of grounded. Anyway.
Right.
So it
Right,
has to
exactly.
be grounded.
Exactly. So when you change too much, it kind of throws you off a bit, and you don't get that full comic book feel from it. So as long as they stick to those designs for the characters, they can't go wrong. Dude. Can't go wrong. So that I definitely appreciate that. And then the new Spider suit. You guys like the new Spider-Man suit, the black and red?
You mean the Iron Man suit?
Well, yeah, but no. I mean, how we have like nothing as
No, I know, but like at that point when he got hit by the train,
right,
and
they got rid of his.
And he calls Happy, and he kind of has that, Iron Man 1 moment where when Happy finds him.
That hits
He
hard,
finds him,
bro.
and then he's like, "Okay, go work on."
Yeah.
Go work on.
And
the
that's
suit.
what Happy saw when he was looking at him, like playing with the machine and making his suit.
I love Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny about that? It's like before that, like when he wore the glasses and he called out the drones to attack the kid that wanted to go with MJ, and he jumps out and to destroy the drone, and he came back down. He had his hair, because of the wind.
Oh yeah, spiked up in the air.
It was like, oh, okay, we get it. He's Iron Man 2.
Yeah, right, exactly. They're definitely pushing that whole imagery on him when he came in. And then the girl, what was Ned's girlfriend? She was like, you know what? This new look, I like it. He's like, yeah, very European, stylish. Like, I'm going for it. I feel the vibe you got going. So yeah, they're definitely pushing that imagery. It was cool. It was alright. Like, it didn't bother me. Like, I understand where they're just putting him in that leadership role. That's what it is. Because we know where it leads. Eventually, Spider-Man leads the teams of the Avengers. Once he gets a little bit grizzled and matured and kind of go through the ropes and get beat up a bit and fight some baddies. He gets there. It's just going to take up some time. I mean,
that was just the ending, bro.
But that was just at the. Yeah. We're almost
okay, before we jump to the ending, I did want to say this. When he was doing the whole bridge fight scene with Mysterio, it leads up to the big battle.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was talking about that ending. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Go ahead. The act that what's it called? The cinematography. Yeah.
What?
The fighting sequence of
how he
the
fighting
fought,
choreography of it.
Choreography. That's the word I was looking for.
Like Spider-Man did Spider-Man stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted. We never got that. I don't care what nobody said. We didn't get that in any of the other movies.
We didn't get that in the
besides
first,
just the swinging and the kicking and the punching.
In the first one, we didn't get that many.
The second one with Andrew Garfield, they tried it. Like, he did some nice little attacks and moves. But again, in this one, we got to see, like, the real athleticism of Spider-Man. With the flipping and the spinning and going through. Like, it was on point. Like, I was sitting there like, this is insane. My head was all over the place, like, watching him zip line and shoot and grab him and swing him with the webbing. Like, I was like, yeah, this is it. This is Spider-Man. And another cool thing they did, too, is they also played a little bit.
The CGI animators were on point.
Oh, no, they were, son. It's Disney, dude. Mm-hmm. They spared no expense on this movie. Definitely. And how he kind of he went from, like, Spider-Man to, like, Peter Parker mode, where he had to use his brains. Like, all right, how am I going to get past this droid? And all these guys are, like, locked on me. He keeps using this wave sound, like Sonic Blast, that keeps blowing me out of the air. So then he's like, all right, he grabbed the shield, like Captain America, and then he gets the that little battery charger that he picked from one of the broken droids and ties it to the webbing that he has.
Yeah, he did his Captain America.
Yeah, he did his little Captain America, Mjolnir hammered Thor moment.
Shield.
Yep, he just ran through there and jumped and used it to block and then hit him with the. I was like, oh, there we go. That's the in-game reference. A lot of people caught that or not, but yeah, that was cool. But just to see him like kind of pick it up on the fly, because that's what he does. He's not just a superhero. Like, he's smart. He's a scientist. Mad intelligent.
Let me tell you, this damn sequence, just from the moment from when he like jumped off the plane from Happy, and he like, okay, well, when he was skydiving, he had a little spider parachute.
Yeah,
little Spider-Man parachute.
That's right.
That was freaking adorable. And just like when he like dived into like the projection, then he started like jumping by one, hitting like getting them all sticked up together, just like electrocute them all. He starts bringing them down, and he starts fighting all the droids one by one. And he's just like, there's like one scene, if you remember, where like he's swinging around. And I told this to Clea too in the theaters. He swings around. He covers a part of the bridge. They're separated. He covers a part of the bridge with webbing, and then he goes around. He brings some with him, and he pulls them up. He hits the middle where the webbing is. He pretty much like elastic, or what is it called? Like, I'm just hyped. Like, just seeing him do all these maneuvers was so hype. If I had the words to describe how
that part.
Scene.
Yeah, I remember that scene.
Like,
that part was cool.
Like all the thought process he made when fighting all those droids, because like, it's one against like what, 1 billion.
Yeah,
or
there's like
millions,
there was a ton of them coming out. Yeah.
And so like him being able to like dodge them all precisely, get them all in one place, blow them all up together, and woo!
Nah, it was
a thrill.
They did it. They did.
And then
amazing job.
My favorite fighting scene was when he was in the bridge with Mysterio, and he opened up the illusions, and Spider-Man was like, "All right." And then I'm telling you, if Jacob saw this movie, we wouldn't. He pulled up some One Piece hockey shit, fighting Katakuri. I'm telling you,
boy,
he closed his eyes, trying to
Thank you for
predict
listening to the
everything.
SiXFrames Podcast.
He's just dodging, and he's just, oh man.
Well, for him saying that, that's pretty much the point of the movie, is him learning how to use Spidey sense.
Yeah, exactly. That's what the gist of that movie is. So now you're seeing his skill set develop, and that's why they were picking on him with the Peter Tingle or whatever. Yeah. He's like, don't call it the Peter Tingle. It's weird. But yeah, he's developing that skill, and he's learning how to use his senses. Because he's not a one-dimensional character. He just don't flip and spin. You know what I mean? He has a bunch of different skill sets.
So he never used it before. He just
you mean in the movies with Tom Holland?
Yeah.
Not really. Like he could kind of sense when something bad was going to happen, but he didn't know what that was. Because even in the first one, Spider-Man Homecoming, like there was moments when like I think there was a shot when the Vulture was coming in attacking. He can kind of he's like, what the hell was that? And like he could see the hair on his arm sticking up. To him, he's like, whoa, what is this? I feel funny. Like he still didn't really grasp. He just thought maybe it was his sixth sense, I think. Like, oh, something's gonna happen.
That's what he said in the movie. In this movie, he's like, I've developed this sixth sense.
Right,
so,
exactly.
This is One Piece hockey, man. I'm telling you, that's exactly how Luffy. It's hockey.
Because let me tell you that moment when he first did it, like before the illusion part, where he's like in the room with Nick Fury, and he's like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Oh boy, this is like the comic right there."
Yeah.
Spidey sense.
Yep, Spidey sense kicking in. So now he's aware of it. So now, whenever the next one comes out, we're gonna start seeing
he was doing
some on point.
He was doing some Marvel vs. Capcom 3 combos.
Yeah, no, he was. Well, he was putting in work.
In that salary.
Yep. And then back to that bridge scene, because now we're getting ready to wrap it up and hit the ending of the film. I mean, that part was like, yeah, it was. They finessed it. Like I was invested at that point. I was in it. He was coming down that hall, that corridor, and then Mysterio still tried to use his illusions on him. Spider-Man just closed his eyes. And he just let the sense take over, and everything got dead silent. And you just see him start flipping and punching in the air and hitting stuff, and you see the droids start falling one by one. Yeah, that part was hard.
Crazy.
And then when he grabbed that gun.
Oh yeah, when Mysterio was like, because he made the illusion look like it shot him in the stomach. When it didn't and he fell, he's just like, he's like, that's it, you're done. It's over. Call off your droids and the illusion, give me the shades, blah, blah, blah. And then you just see him flinch and grab Quentin Beck because he was about to shoot him in the head. I was like, oh shit. Alright, Spider-Man. See you, my boy.
Keep growing.
Yep. And that was it. He was like, that's it. It's over. He's done. He gave me glasses. He called off the droid strike. And everybody was happily ever after.
Can I point out that one scene when the students and Happy went to go get the kids and they fled from the androids and they got into that little museum of
oh yeah, when they were in the history museum,
and then on the verge of closing the door, Happy took the shield. He tried to Captain America as
he tried to throw it and it just went ding. It fell. It didn't even fly. It just slid across the ground. He's like, damn, how does he do it? It's heavy. He couldn't even throw the damn thing. That part was funny.
I think if I was be in that situation, I'll probably do the same thing. I'm like, what, a shield? Oh, I'm about to Captain America my way out of this.
Oh, missed.
It just fall. Yeah, shit. I guess we did, y'all. And leave it to Ned to be the nerd who corrects him right in the line of death. He's like, quick, hand me the sword. And what did he call it?
He called it a spear. He's like,
no, a spear. He called it a spear, but it was a halberd. He's like, that's a halberd. And Happy just like, really? We're finna sit here and debate about what we about to die, man. And they're all confessing different things. Like, I'm sorry, but I can't help it. And then MJ says her part. She's like, we're gonna die anyways. They're like, come on, really? And then Happy confesses his love for Aunt May, and they're just like,
huh?
That's strange. All right. I thought we were sharing.
We sharing that much, my
You're
boy.
sharing too much. Boys. I'm about to die anyways. Y'all might as well know. And then it all stops and calls off the strike, and then that's it. Everybody gets back together. The kids go back home.
Ned broke up with
his girlfriend. He grew into a man, and
he has a great character arc.
He did. Ned had a great character arc in that movie. And they head back home.
Spidey got MJ.
Spidey got MJ because now he kissed her on the bridge. They had their little romance moment, so we knew that was coming. And yeah, they head back to New York. Everything's back to normal. And that's it, y'all. Hey!
And then that first end credit scene.
Yep. That's it.
You got Civil
That's
War.
it.
I know, Kevin, I'm sure you appreciated this more than all of us. When you saw that face pop up on that big screen.
Spider-Man!
Get me, Spider-Man! Oh, man. That was perfect, son.
They brought him back.
They brought back the original James Jonah Jameson from the first Spider-Man with Tobey.
God bless.
Yeah, that was perfect because that's him. I couldn't even think of somebody else to even fill that role.
No.
He is iconic.
Perfect. I don't even care if he's old.
Well, I mean, shit, James Jonah Jameson's old, so it works. It fits.
And they change it to like a podcast.
Right, like in the video game.
Yeah.
Because remember in the game, the Spider-Man game that's out on Sony, well, for PlayStation, he has that podcast radio because he stops working for the Daily Bugle.
Yeah.
And he has the little thing that people call in and listen to and make complaints. And that's cool. I don't mind that because, I mean, we're up on the times, right? We
Yeah.
can't still be... I mean, who the hell read a newspaper recently in here?
Nope.
Exactly. Nobody.
A what?
A what?
What's a newspaper? The
Those
stuff
things?
you put in the bird cage.
Oh, that.
But you lay it down so the dog can pee on it.
People
That's a
used to read that.
People used to read those, y'all. People used to have papers in their hand that they used to pay for, believe it or not. And they would get thrown at their doors at 5 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, that part was cool to see.
But it was
him
cool
come
before
back as
the
James.
end credits.
Mhm.
When he's going to go and meet MJ,
Mm-hmm.
he pulls out his phone. He does the Spider-Man,
All the little selfie swing.
The selfie
when he's
swing.
Going through that, yeah.
And I was like, man, they just give us everything. Video games,
Yeah,
past
all
movies,
references.
all the references.
All the Easter egg references. Just soak it in, y'all. Absorb all of that information. And James Jonah Jameson popped up. Like I was like, what? I was like, that's dope. I'm happy. I'm happy they brought him back. Yep. And the
He
classic
didn't say
James
menace
Jonah.
yet. He didn't say menace. I
Not
hope-
yet.
Not yet.
He'll say it. But classic James Jonah, he's always against Spider-Man. He thinks he's a vigilante, crime boss, whatever. He just hates him. And he shows the video.
Mysterio.
Mysterio releases...
Which they hinted it when he gets caught at the end because the guy that helped him downloaded something.
He mentions that. Yeah, he says something to him that kind of alludes to like what's about to happen now, which is the video being released. And you see him saying, hey, I don't know what's going on. Spider-Man's gone crazy. He's attacking us. He's killing everybody with these droids. And he takes that little snippet. He edits that last part where he says, he's like, yeah, send the droids. Kill them all. When really he was telling Edith to kill off the droids so they can go back to the station. But he made it seem like he was going to kill everybody in Europe while they were over there with the big disaster that happened. And then he reveals to everybody that Spider-Man is Peter Parker.
Very Iron Man.
Very Iron Man. That's right. And he's like, what the fuck?
Isn't that
They
what
cut
happened
it.
to him in the Civil War comic, though?
No,
Didn't Tony Stark convince him to reveal his...
Yeah.
Yes. But he took his mask off.
But he took his mask off
and revealed himself.
And he did like a
Yeah,
public speech. And
Yeah, he did a public
That was more of like a
speech.
moral,
Yeah.
well, not moral, but like that was more of
Reverse
his choice.
Civil War.
Yeah,
Right, yeah,
because
that's what it was.
he was gonna, because in that part in the comic books, he was gonna be part of the bill where they're gonna control the superhero people.
Right. Exactly. They
And
should
so
all
he
reveal themselves.
was gonna be the face of like reforming
Right.
as a superhero.
Exactly. And then he realized it was
It's a big mistake
yeah, because
because it ends up him making a deal with the devil.
pretty much, because right after that, like Kingpin goes after Aunt May, and then all the other Spider-Man villains are like, "This kid was him the whole time," and then they, you know how it is, they all go after his family and whatnot, friends. So, but yeah, So that's pretty much what that's going to end up taking. I'm guessing the next series of events for old Peter Parker and what's to come. So yeah.
He might make a deal with the devil in one of these movies. Who knows?
No.
That
was terrible.
That
was a terrible story.
So yeah, that was the mind blowing moment.
Now I could just let me get Jacob.
And then the scrolls.
Oh wait, and then the scrolls.
Oh, and all the scrolls.
Yes.
Like the
So the reveals of the scrolls.
Nick Fury and what's the agent that was with him the whole time?
Maria Hill.
Maria Hill. They transformed at the end and they revealed that they were scrolls the entire time.
The entire time.
The entire time in the movie. So
I don't know. I kind of have mixed feelings on that.
I know, right?
Okay.
I was like,
Exactly.
alright.
because to me that means nothing at this point, especially after seeing Captain Marvel. Like
Yeah.
the scrolls aren't the bad guys.
Yeah.
So why? I mean, all it was just for was so Nick Fury can like relax and somebody can kind of lead the agency while he's chilling right now, which is what it was. You see him in space looking at a fake beach or whatever VR system, and he gets up and he's like, you know, woman, where are my suits? Where's my super suit? Where's my super suit? Like looking for his shoes or whatever. Diamond back to work. And that's it.
He does.
So
walk.
then it was like, yeah, whatever. I guess he's in space. Maybe they'll form Sword, right? Isn't that the team they form out in space? Sword. The Captain Marvel leads.
Yeah.
So I think that's where that's going on that end, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with the next. What's the next movie coming up? There's nothing.
Not this year.
Well,
So like, we'll have
Guardians
to wait.
of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I mean, we know it's coming, but that's not till what 2021, I think, right? It's gonna be a while till we get another Guardians. But when's the big Comic Con? The one for San Diego.
San Diego?
Like next weekend.
Next week.
Next week, I'll say. So maybe they'll drop something in. They'll give us some more movies to come next year because I don't know nothing next year.
Fantastic Four.
I don't know. I
I'm
think
not
I'm
ready
too
for it
soon.
yet.
That's like X-Men. Like I'm not ready for an X-Men movie. Like they're gonna give it time. I'd say at best they'll probably wait about 4 or 5 years before we get another X-Men franchise.
That's fine.
At best. Which is
No,
fine.
we're probably gonna get Fantastic Four
You think so?
Yeah.
You're gonna jump right into
because
Fantastic
they
Four?
at this point they're going to.
Well, the last
they're
one
going
came out
cosmic.
2015, so
Yeah, but at this point, since they merger and they're going cosmic,
mm-hmm.
you know, you might as well just go in and
start bringing them in there.
yeah. Before you get the other cosmic heroes.
That's true. That's true. They can introduce them, and they can also tie in Doctor Doom with the whole Age of Ultron incident where he lifted up the country and dropped it. Wasn't that? What was that place? Was that not Liberia? What was the name of that place? Whatever that area was.
It's a made up place.
It's a made up place, just like where Doctor Doom lives. It's like he controls that area. So I was thinking maybe they can kind of tie all that in together too. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what they do. So maybe at the next San Diego Comic Con, throw a trailer or something.
I hope so.
I hope so.
Oh, I need something to quench my thirst before Godzilla vs. King Kong.
While we wait for that, you gonna go get Jacob?
Yeah, I'm gonna get Jacob.
All right, he's gonna go grab Jacob while we're sitting here reminiscing about Spider-Man. Jacob, we were sitting out there the whole time. He probably heard everything. You had your headphones in? Oh, no, you had headphones. All right, smart man. Hey, there's Jacob.
I mean, y'all couldn't call you. Y'all shouldn't have called me back, son. That Dragon Quest Builders 2 was fire.
Oh, is that what you were playing? It's fun.
Taking hours, baby.
What is it? Is it like Minecraft?
It's Minecraft Dragon Builders. It's Minecraft, but with like sort of a purpose. More of a purpose.
Right, it has a
Because it's
story.
Dragon
It has a story.
It's
Yeah.
Dragon Quest.
Yeah, exactly.
There's an end goal.
And there's an online functionality to it.
And they have farming? Kill me. All right.
There it is.
So,
Farming.
Jacob,
Yeah.
watch Spider-Man.
Okay, I got you.
Good?
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
It's good.
It's good.
It's A1.
Good. All right.
A1 sauce.
Okay.
All right. Next, Cuphead. They want to do a Netflix cartoon.
If I'm going to be 100% honest,
Uh-huh.
the initial design that they had for the Cuphead cartoon,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not feeling it that much. Like the design for the design they had on
On the poster.
the poster, yeah. I'm not feeling it that much.
Okay.
So I think it's like a bit. What is it? Slim?
So it doesn't look like the rendition on the video game?
Not that much. It's like a lot more stylized, if anything.
Anybody, you got a picture of it, Cleo?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
So
Yeah, I've seen
Cuphead, Netflix. So pretty much for the listeners out there, Cuphead is a video game. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, it doesn't look like the.
Yeah, it looks kind of weird.
Yeah, it's.
It looks like what's that
more
show that used to
cheatier,
come on?
if anything.
What's that show that used to come on? Was it Nickelodeon? Cartoon Network.
What show was it?
Tiny Toons?
No. I'm trying to think of the art style it reminds me of. The one with the naked animals. Remember that show?
Almost Naked Animals.
Is that it? Almost Naked Animals?
Cartoon Network. It was
on Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
And then Nickelodeon had a show called, what was it? Giraffe, Goat, Pickle, something. You know what I'm talking about?
Ew. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
But that art style kind of reminds me.
Or
Yeah.
that, remember the dog?
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same studio.
Dog.
The
Oh.
talking dog one?
Yeah, he looked like he's trying to be like a blended as a human.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he's like 30 years old, right?
Oh man, I forgot the name of it.
You forgot the name, yeah, but it had that little art style, like it's like a Ren and Stimpy, you know.
Yeah, definitely like a Ren and Stimpy. Yep, there it is. I don't know what this show called. Pig, goat,
Giraffe.
banana, cricket.
What the
That's
fuck?
what it is. Pig, goat, banana,
and
cricket. That was the name of the show on
Yeah.
Nickelodeon, but it kind of like reminds me
That's it.
of that. Right? Oh, I didn't click on that.
Uh-oh.
Terrible.
Oh, yeah, it's kind of like that type of because the way the eyes look, the way
Yeah.
they do the eyes, it reminds me of
Glossy.
that glossy look.
Like the old school gross out cartoons.
Yeah, exactly, like the old school gross out cartoons.
I mean, maybe it's just like the poster for it. They'll probably like just change it up for like the actual animation.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we gotta wait and see, but I don't know.
Do we know
It just bothers me a little bit. That's all.
do we know who's creating it or
Yeah, the same studio.
the same studio?
It's the same, the one that did Pig Goat. The thing
No.
No.
The same thing who did Cuphead.
The same people that did the game?
Yeah.
They're
Oh,
doing the
okay.
same style, but just for a cartoon.
For
I
cartoon
guess so.
purpose.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I guess. Well, I mean, we'll see. I'm curious to see if they're gonna stick to the whole like video game with the contract with the devil.
I hope so.
Yeah, they should. I don't see why they should change it. I
Maybe
think they should keep it
they could
changing.
probably add like some comment because like at the end of like all the levels of Cuphead, they have like that sort of saying that they always say like, oh, you're I don't know, something like I don't know, like you know, like the end quips that they always have, like whenever you die, is like taunting you. So like they're sort of comedic characters. So I'm hoping that it's at least violent, but at the same time comedic. Like
Right.
the characters could like be brought back, like could be brought up as like charming, funny characters. Like the Toad brother, they're probably like jokesters or something like that, or the pirate, or even the mermaid, the goddamn dragon.
Shut up, bro.
I hope that the music stays on point.
Hell yeah.
Is that music in Cuphead on some of those levels? Like the one that has the little jazz music that plays? It's great. Like, I like the music in Cuphead. Really good job. Well played.
I heard that supposedly they're not gonna have like the same plot as the game. It's gonna be its own like entity.
Oh, really?
It's gonna have like its own story. So, okay. I mean, I think it would work out because that means they can expand in the world and they don't have to worry about inconsistencies in the game.
Right.
But yeah, and like the humor is gonna be humorous, but it's gonna be like in the middle, so it's gonna be good for adults, but also for children. It's not gonna be like a
I hope
complete
so.
children's.
I mean, well,
That's
that's
cool.
not the game's like that.
I mean,
it's not
but-
a complete like adult.
But no, but like I'm just saying, I just hope that it has like some sort of like adult element in it. So,
Right. It has that like Popeyes vibe, right?
Yeah.
Because it has that same kind of art style. Popeyes.
Mostly
Betty Boop.
Disney. Silly sympathy.
Yeah.
Sympathy?
Yeah, silly sympathy. Yeah, sympathy. It's
Ah,
sympathy. Symphony.
I can't say that word to save my
sympathy.
life. Can't say that word.
Silly symphonies.
Symphony.
Yes. Yeah, with all those old school, the rabbit and the dog
The
and
rabbit
all
and
those
the
other
dog.
characters that you don't hear about anymore from Disney. Because,
Racist.
Racist.
Like, remember when the wolf dressed like a Jewish man?
Oh, yeah. Jesus. Boy, oh boy, you
And
can pull
offer-
some stuff out of the Disney votes, I tell you.
They censored him.
Yeah, now they do. What's up,
Yeah,
Jacob?
backtracking on the fact that backtracking on the fact of the style that they were trying to go for. I think you were trying to think of what, Kevin, was Teacher's Pet from Disney.
Teacher's Pet.
Yeah, Teacher's Pet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember that one too.
It's like,
Teacher's
is that
Pet.
also the guy who created those board games?
Mhm.
You know, that has that cartoony style.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they're called, but
Oh,
shows
okay.
you, yeah.
Teacher's pet. I got you.
I remember that.
I got you. All right.
I hated that show.
Yeah.
I never really watched it either. It's one of those ones I just kind of like,
The
kind of
movies
glanced
are-
over.
that one
Maybe
movie
another
they
one.
did is pretty good.
I mean, honestly, I think they should have just did a Cuphead movie instead of a TV show. I mean, just personally, just like, you know, dip their toe in, see like how well they'll do.
Yeah.
So if you're going with a TV show, I'm not sure if they're gonna have like a plot or it's gonna be like an episodic thing.
Right, like each episode's different.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like if the team is behind it, I have high hopes for it. But
Yeah.
I mean, anything can happen.
We need a
honestly.
trailer. That's what we.
Yeah, we need a trailer.
We just got to see where it's headed. That's
Well,
all I
if
thought.
it's anything like the game, it's gonna make me cry.
She's gonna get stuck on one episode 600 times.
6,000 times.
Right? Just keep watching that same episode. Just keep getting distracted or interrupted. You gotta come back to it. I can't get past episode 6. I don't know
Yeah,
what
I
it
can't
is.
talk right now.
Right?
Damn dragon!
Yeah.
Let's drag it all over.
Yep. This is gonna happen.
I'm gonna skip that episode.
When they show the dragon on the cover, just go past it.
Skip.
That's
Now,
funny.
like, one question though.
Uh-huh.
Is it gonna go for like the silent type movie format?
Yeah, because
Or
they
is
don't
it
have
gonna
voices.
Yeah, voiceovers.
That's right. They don't
I
have
mean,
voices.
if it's like, I'm gonna try to say the word again. The
Symphony.
Mm-hmm.
silly symphony. Is that right?
Yeah.
I know, okay. If it's trying to be like that, like the the color, cartoons
color?
from Disney back in the day, they have people talking. You might think you probably have that style, like the old microphone
Mm-hmm.
as they
Mhm.
talk to, those old talkies
Mhm.
voices.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they have that type of stylistic to it, but I don't think so. They probably just
Like
gonna have-
the announcer,
yeah,
kind of talking over their
like,
adventures.
well, welcome to
Right.
Cuphead,
Cuphead and Mugman. What's his name? Mugman? Or,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mugman, and then they
On
all talk
another
like,
adventure.
let's go, Cuphead,
You
let's
see
go,
them,
let's
right?
go save the day. I don't
Right.
think they're gonna. I don't think they're
Here
gonna
comes
talk
the
that
villain.
way.
And
You
then
have
they
to
just
sing
start
it.
getting into
You
it.
have to sing it. Like the intro to the game. Welcome, Cuphead and his pal Mugman.
Roll the dice.
Then they came from Devil's Reign.
You don't want to miss that, folks.
Right?
Oh, I can't even
Absolutely.
sing. I cracked so hard, bro. Character gonna be terrible with me.
Oh boy.
You missed those lessons.
I skipped them, bro.
He skipped it. Goodness gracious. Well, either way, it's one of those things we just gotta wait and see what happens. Whenever they decide to drop a trailer, we'll judge more from there. Right?
Yep.
Fair enough.
And our judgment
Harshly.
eyes
Harshly.
It's 2D animation.
That's right.
Unless they give it in 3D, I don't know.
Oh God! Don't do it in 3D.
I think it's TV.
We got enough 3D shit.
Oh no, it's
animated
gonna be
shows.
frame. It's gonna be like those.
No, I
hand
know, but
drawn-
I'm just saying.
Frame
No,
by
right
yeah.
away.
They want to stay away from the computer generated, so at least we have that.
I mean, they
That's
kind of did that with Photoshop.
With what? What was it?
They did the game in Photoshop. I don't know.
They did the game in Photoshop?
Yeah, they did it layer by layer.
What?
Yeah, they painted each assets.
I mean, it's still
and they
frame by
layered it
frame.
just like how Disney would do it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
Just
cool.
in the future. That's it. No paper required.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Drawing tablets, everything.
That's why it took forever for the game to come out.
Yeah.
That's what. It took a long time. Okay.
You probably ain't safe.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
I'm sure they got some stories to tell. As long as it took them to make it, I'm pretty sure they got some stories of heartaches and troubles and headaches, of saved files and corrupt files and shit getting misplaced.
Trying to beat their own bosses.
Right.
Buy their book.
Oh, they do. They have an art book, right? For the game. Do they have an art book? Jason?
I
Sure
gotta look
they
into
do.
it.
You the art book.
I think
man.
they
You
do.
and Alexis.
I'm
I
sure
would love
now.
collecting
How long
art
has the
I'm
game
sure
been
they
out?
do.
Yeah,
for
they
a
should
minute
have.
now. The game been out
Yeah,
for
they
a hot
should have.
minute.
You know, no, they did. They just released one
An art book for Cuphead.
for Cuphead. I
Okay.
remember seeing it somewhere, but I don't know when it came out.
Right,
I
right,
just saw it.
I have to check it out. Alright. Next, the future.
Now let's talk about anticipation. Let's talk about the future of Lion King.
The future of Lion King.
Is that looking good for critics? Acclaim?
I don't trust critics.
Well, I mean,
They gave Alita a bad score, and I love
True.
Alita.
That is true.
that's very true. They said Alita was terrible.
How dare you rate Lion King anything less than 98?
90.
Well, that's a huge score.
Lion King is a huge movie.
Yeah, and it's definitely gonna be. That's
Come
for
on.
sure. Oh
But-
Lord. I mean, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know, despite what people are saying, whatever the critics are claiming they didn't like or did like, whatever the case may be. I mean, I enjoyed Jungle Book, so
Yeah.
I'm sure I like this.
For one of the critics, I remember reading this is like, oh, it's too overwhelming. It doesn't feel like it just feels like the movie. So why would it be? Why would we want to watch it? And there's some guy who gave it a fresh, and he says, "This is better than the Lion King. This live action Lion King's better." Like I don't even understand what
So
these
it's all
people.
mixed.
He said it's all mixed. It's all mixed, but
So the
it's all
fans
mixed,
like
but
it.
it's still low score by every critic, except for like one or two who liked it better than the cartoon.
Okay.
I
I
think
mean-
they should all lose their jobs.
No, they can't.
Mixed
So
feelings.
straightforward.
Mixed feelings. Okay. I mean, we have to see it again. This is,
It's honestly, it's just Disney's approach on what they want to do with it. Because it's like we already established, it's not the cartoon.
right. Yeah,
Obviously
we're not
the
gonna get the
cartoon.
same
But
feels we got the first time we watched the cartoon Lion King. Like,
But it's the fact that they're redoing the story. So like, how can you feel like a different way when like it's like telling the story of Spider-Man. Wait,
No.
I don't got a good example, honestly.
No,
But it's
because you know
it's
why they
taking-
did them
it's like
all
making
live
a
action.
story. It's taking a story that you know so well. Years later, you take that same story, but you want to do something different with it. It's like, how do you like shift the road that's already been paved? That makes no sense, I know, but like,
No, I get what you're saying.
No, totally, easily.
I get what you're
It's the
saying.
same way like Fox fucked over the X-Men. There's a great story written by Chris Claremont that Fox was like, "Ooh, let me throw all your elements away. Let me just take your characters, and we're gonna make our own goddamn story." Now Mystique leads the X-Men. Like, this shit don't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I see what you're saying. Like, the groundwork's been laid. Here's the foundation for it. This is the story. This is the end result. And with this, it's a little bit more like, it's not as expandable because it's just one movie that came out that they're basing it from. They're not, looking at Lion King 2 and 2.0
Right.
or whatever the extras
Lion
were.
King 1.5.
Right, Simba's Pride or whatever the hell. it was
Lion's
called.
Guard.
Right,
Oh.
the kiddie show. Right, they're just basing it off of that one movie. So of course everybody's gonna be
That's right.
super judgmental. Like,
That's right.
all
Kimbo
right,
the
you're
White
basing
Lion.
it off of this film, so we need this film to be like that. Like,
I think it's gonna be like identical to the cartoon. Like at least
think
from the
so?
I heard it
trailer,
was redundant.
everything that they've done in the trailer looks already identical.
but that's what
to
I
the
want.
cartoon.
And
Though.
that's the
I'm cool.
problem.
With
I
that.
want that too.
Yeah, but that's the problem.
But that's what
Because
people are
now-
complaining about.
Because like
Aw.
in animated in an animation, like when they draw it, like it's like so expressive. Like everything is
Right.
expressive. You can't exaggerate a real lion's face
No, yeah.
as
That makes
hard
sense.
as that.
No, I
That's,
get you.
that's sort of my problem.
which
with
which I think is why they're gonna cut a lot of the musical
it.
numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of like with
I
Jungle
assume
Book,
that,
like
yeah.
they cut a lot of the musical
That
numbers.
makes a lot more sense.
I mean, we just got that one from King Louis.
It wasn't even a song. It was "Who me too."
Right, it was just him
Wanna be like
being
you.
intimidating.
Best part of the movie.
Worst.
Are you
That made me
serious?
mad.
Dude, Christopher Walken was amazing.
I mean, it was
Clea.
funny for you.
Before y'all yell at each other, Clea, what did you want to add?
Like I looked around and I was curious to see like what people said, and
Mhm.
basically like the visuals is amazing because it's like super photorealistic,
Oh, cool.
but
Right.
it had no like facial expression. It was just like void of any magic, personality. The colors were bad, and like even when they move their mouth, it's kind of off a little bit, and it's just like
Okay.
there's nothing. And I mean, personally, I think they should have gone like the Pokemon route. It like realistic but still kind of cartoony. They could have kept the colors of like Simba
Okay.
and Scar.
They don't have to make
Okay.
it realistic.
Yeah, they don't have to make it realistic, but just
Right.
kind of like you
Okay.
know.
I could have seen that, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I felt like if they could have done that, then they could have gotten away with the music sequences and like the.
Yeah, but they want live
Appearance.
action. They can't cattle prod a tiger or a lion to talk.
Right, CG live
Right.
action.
It's kind of nice that we brought this to this point, because just the other day I saw a scene
Mhm.
from The Lion King, not live action, but highly realistic CG, right?
If that's rigging it, it's
Are you
animation.
talking about the Timon and Pumbaa scene?
Yes.
Oh yeah, the one I had posted that on Facebook.
Yeah,
Yes.
but like it was just like Timon and Pumbaa, they were like looking over at Simba's body while he's asleep, and like, what is that? Huh?
Mm-hmm.
And then they had a comparison when I was on Twitter. They had the comparison of that scene with the live, like the CG, and the cartoon version. And then you had different, like, Timon and Pumbaa reacted different ways as to the cartoon version. So
Right.
Okay.
But the thing is,
I think the whole problem with all this is the state that Disney is just remaking everything instead of like making new stuff or like new cartoons, cartoon animations they used to do.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, they're just like, okay, we got nothing. Let's just go to the vault, make them all live action.
But they're still doing stuff.
They're
coming up with
no,
stuff.
they're still doing stuff, but it's just like
It's
for
just
them
extra.
to just keep going and it makes it extra. And I guess for most people, they found it like they don't want it because they like what they had
originals.
Yeah.
Right.
So to them, it's like, what's the point of watching live action if I already got it already?
Yeah,
So it's pocket change.
that's
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
They're just putting it together and making $1.
Yeah, people.
All that hard work
All that
for
hard
a drop
work.
of clout.
Hey, Disney is desperate. Hey, they re-release Avengers with Shrek, like
With Shrek.
Shrek talking on the phone. Steve Rogers, who?
I'm just kind of mad at the fact that they're not, like, the characters are not being as expressive as they're supposed to be.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
when I saw that Timon and Pumbaa scene,
But-
it was funny. Don't get me wrong, it was kind of funny.
Right.
But then, man,
I liked it. I thought it was funny, but then that's where you like run into the issue of the expressions on these types of not like realistic looking characters.
Right.
Because since they are so realistic, they have to be careful about the animation because you don't have the liberties you have when you're animating
Yeah.
something more stylized. This you like have to stay true to what that actual
Animals and-
lion would do and the gestures of the lion.
Yeah.
Right.
And see, that is an excellent point because it's funny because when I saw the Mulan trailer, I was looking at it and it felt so realistic. I didn't really want Mushu or like.
Yeah.
That's
I
what
mean, we'll
they're
get to
going
the
for.
Mulan. I guess we could like.
You could
Well, yeah,
tie
you
it
can
in.
tie it in.
Segue.
Alright, so like.
Yeah,
Like when I
yeah.
saw the Mulan
That's cool.
trailer, like it felt so realistic. Like you know how in the beginning of Mulan, it's like all this happiness, jumping, that singing about getting a new bride and everything, and then the scene is like they're just on the table, family, quiet. They're just getting ready for like this big event of them like getting a new bride, getting Mulan to like be a wife of someone, and it's like so serious. And it's because it's like live action and not a cartoon that the entire tone of the Mulan movie changes into this like more realistic. So like besides watching Mulan as this happy story about this girl and her pet dragon and her cricket going on this wild adventure to save China, it's now about this serious story about this woman who's trying to change her own life by finding her own true love or participating in the war to like keep her father away. And it just to me it mostly works with Mulan because it's not a lion or a monkey or anything like that. But if you just go back to like the other movies, like even Aladdin, Dumbo probably, and even the Lion King that's coming up, it's like, yeah, it's just a whole tone shift. If anything, they're not happy anymore. It's just more realistic, serious version
And that's
of the cartoon.
And that's why I kind of think I have a little more hopes with Mulan because it's not trying to be what it already was.
Yeah.
It's trying to be something else.
They rewrote.
It feels to me like a kung fu movie.
Yeah, like I was saying,
Yeah.
it feels like a more of a historic timepiece.
Yeah.
Like this is when the Great War happened, and the Mongolians are running in to infiltrate China, and they got to deal with this, and then you're following this young girl's journey from going to be somebody's bride to joining the military and becoming a soldier. Yeah, so it feels more like a time period piece instead of another animated Disney movie.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay
Which
with.
is kind of like how the original one was, with just to add it in. I mean, because the thing that Disney does is they always add in their little flair with their movies. So with Mulan, you got Mushu and the cricket. With The Little Mermaid, you got Sebastian the crab and flounder. With The Lion King, you had Timon and Pumbaa. So there's always this little sidekick character that Disney likes to add in because that's always just been their style and their flair to things. And that, and plus it's it's more marketable for kids. So that's how they've always done their movies, and all of them have it. Good.
After this talk, I feel a bit more woke.
Remember, get woke, get broke.
Get woke, get broke. Yeah, don't get too woke. They're gonna stop listening to us. All 10 of our, including
Little Mermaid.
You're gonna
go broke. Yeah,
you're gonna be like, Black Panther was from our ancestors, and we came on a spaceship.
Lord have mercy.
And now we took the seas. Little Mermaid.
Yeah, full circle.
And we turned her black.
And they trying to keep us locked up in Area 51. It ain't going down like that, son.
And now we're gonna storm Area 51 and get most of our black brothers and sisters away from us.
We too woke, y'all.
We too woke.
They know too much.
Be careful. They got miniguns. They'll mow you down.
That's it. FBI tuning in right now.
Oh, so now they send me a text.
Calm down, boy.
I know you woke. Oh, man.
Too funny. But anyways, to bring it back full circle. And being that we all are, animation majors, I mean, we can appreciate the 2D aspect and the hard work and the countless hours I'm sure these people put into just doing a few seconds of a frame to now we're in the, this is it. We're in the CG realm now.
Well,
so a lot of movies are going to be like this.
But, don't give us, for most of us with, 2D, we like it, but we also understand how hard it takes when you do 3D.
Oh, yeah, no, of course. It's still a lot of work. I mean, they spend years. I'm sure for the next whatever set of movies that are going to come out, Disney's already on it, making it. Because, we've already saw the announcement for Little Mermaid, and then what else haven't they done yet?
Another Sleeping Beauty. They're doing
Hunchback
They're
of
doing
the
Sleeping
Stitch.
Beauty?
Yeah, they're doing, what's her name? Maleficent 2.
Oh, Maleficent. So
Maleficent.
Maleficent's coming out.
Yes.
There's another Maleficent. Who else? Who haven't they done yet?
They haven't done Emperor's New Groove.
They haven't done Emperor's New Groove.
There's no plans for it.
I don't think, because I don't know. I loved Emperor's New Groove. It was great. But I don't think it was just one of those, mainstream, Disney.
No, it wasn't.
Because
you know what I mean?
No princess. Cusco's a princess, but...
Yeah.
The thing
Right. It doesn't fall in there.
The thing about the Emperor's New Groove
Right.
is that they did the first movie, it flopped, and then when they did the sequel, because a lot of people bought the DVD,
The DVDs.
the VHS.
VHS back then, yeah.
They were like, okay, let's do a sequel, but it'd be direct sequel, on DVD.
Right.
And then they had a cartoon show for
And
it.
they had a
I used to love
cartoon
watching
show.
that show.
Oh, yeah,
But the problem with that, if you're gonna do a live action, is that you can't change it up like Little Mermaid or stuff like that, because Cusco is an actual person in history.
Right. Just like with Mulan.
It's different, yeah.
It's it's one of those
So,
it takes place in a certain area of the world with a certain culture and an ethnic group.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna do that, it has to be Peruvians.
Yeah. It has
If you're gonna do Mulan, it has to be Chinese.
Right.
So that makes sense.
Yeah, because
Or if they ever decide to years from now do Moana, they're obviously gonna use
Polynesian.
But Hobbs and Shop's not that.
Huh?
Hobbs and Shop does
Yeah.
that.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Hobbs
They got that.
That's Moana too extreme.
You see the Rock swinging through with his.
What can I
Swinging on a
say?
The Rock's gonna come in on a helicopter. He's gonna have his big hook swinging through on the helicopter, and you're gonna see Jason Statham riding the waves with a coconut on his head. No, he'll be the rooster. That's what it means. Jason Statham will be the rooster. Yeah. What are you gonna say, Jacob?
Since we're in the subject of live action movies that Disney's planning on making.
Oh, you saw a schedule for it?
Whoa, boy.
They're doing the Hunchback,
What do
right?
they got?
I haven't seen, I heard
One little
Yeah.
comment about that. I think if they do a live action Hunchback, they can get away with it. Because there's been multiple live action, Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah,
So,
no, of course.
I think that's probably one of the very few that will probably do really well.
Because it's a very it's one of those sad, You know what I mean? It's one of those type of movies, those film movies.
It's like a stage play.
Right,
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is. It's exactly what the original Notre Dame for the Hunchback.
No,
That's
it's a
exactly
silent movie, stage
it's one of
play.
those type of like very artsy.
So I'm guessing they're gonna cast Forrest Whitaker.
And what?
Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker.
For what?
For what?
What are we talking? Oh, for Hunchback?
That's messed
My
up.
God,
Oh, because he
you're
has
so
the big
mean.
eye and the little eye.
You're so mean, Jacob.
Son, you're doing too much right now.
First of all, he's too old to play those roles, okay?
No, you're so
Okay.
mean.
Think
Ignore.
of a goon, bro.
Yeah.
You're gonna be swinging from the bell. Sanctuary! Sanctuary!
I didn't know the Hunchback. Black and French.
Hey, anything can happen at this point.
Yeah.
Oh,
But like, yeah. Next possible movies that they're planning on making is Snow White.
Okay.
that's fine.
Okay,
Cruella.
Snow White, that's right. They're
Yeah.
doing a Cruella movie?
Yeah.
But
Wait, didn't they do
already
101
did one.
Dalmatians?
Yes.
movie?
Yeah, like
They
With
did.
Cruella?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They did Cruella.
But they're
If
focusing.
they're not bringing her back, then they don't need to do Cruella.
No Meryl Streep.
No Mel Street.
Yeah, but
If they bring Mel Street back, then
they're
forget it.
focusing on Cruella more. This is like her, I think, origin story. I think. And Emma Stone.
Just like they did with Maleficent. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Emma Stone's gonna
Stone
play Cruella.
I think so, and Emma Thompson.
Emma Stone?
That's
What?
it.
Who's Emma Thompson?
I don't know who she is. I just
Emma Thompson.
I just see Emma
Thompson?
Stone and
Look
Emma
her.
Thompson.
Well, we know who Emma Stone is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
not
then-
who I would have pictured as Cruella at all.
Mm.
But okay.
Alright, we'll see where you're going with that.
Pinocchio.
Oh, that
They already
Oh,
done it.
okay.
They
Emma
already
Thompson.
did it.
I know who Emma Thompson is.
She's
Who is
the.
So maybe she'll be the one playing Cruella.
Wait. They,
Yeah, that would make more
Pinocchio. They already
sense.
did Pinocchio
Yeah, but
with the the
She did
from
the
Home
Nanny
Improvement
McPhee
kid.
movie.
He was.
What happened?
Pinocchio. They already did a live action Pinocchio. Remember with the Home Improvement kid?
Oh yes, they did. They have done a live action Pinocchio, but it's one of those stories that's been retold, and they've done live action versions of it from other companies. Because I mean,
I think this one
Pinocchio's
was
not
Disney.
a Disney story, so
I mean, not all of
They're
them,
doing
but this
Disney.
one they done it for Disney too.
Huh?
They did it.
you know, they did it for Disney. But I'm saying like I've seen other like live action versions of Pinocchio.
Yeah.
It's like Jungle Book and Mowgli.
Right. Because those stories, like, they're not, like, Disney didn't come up with them.
Yeah.
He didn't come up with Lion King. He didn't come up with Pinocchio, Little Mermaid.
That's what they always
None of those
say.
Right.
stories.
That's why it says
That's
Disney.
that's what Disney's.
Disney's, again,
That's
back
my
to the
shit.
trademark character. We didn't write the Little Mermaid, but we're going to throw in Sebastian and Flounder.
Well, there's an aspect
Now-
with
now it
Lion
makes
King
sense.
because they say that's the original problem.
That's not theirs. They pieced together the White Lion story from Kimba, and then they threw in some Shakespearean Hamlet into it, and then bam, they came up with the Lion King.
My
Alright,
OC.
let's be for real.
My OC.
My OC, exactly. That's what it is.
like the thing with Pinocchio, they've been working on it for several years, but the thing is, they've been rewriting the scripts.
Oh, they keep redoing
Yeah, they keep redoing
it.
it.
Weren't they gonna get your guy to do it?
From Rogue One,
Huh? Who?
the director from Rogue One, I think.
No,
I see his name.
Who?
that's not what I was thinking of. He just did Dumbo.
Tim
Tim
Burton.
Burton?
Tim Burton. I
They
thought they were gonna
were.
get. I thought they were gonna get Tim Burton to do it.
Yeah.
Like I was like, all right, I can see
I
Tim
can see
Burton
that.
doing a Pinocchio movie.
I could see that.
That falls like right in the line of what he's good at.
For sure.
And he can add that weird, creepy element to it.
Especially
Like
with the
a puppet
donkeys.
wanting to be a real boy.
Yeah.
Like that's creepy.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's weird
definitely.
enough.
Not just that, the donkey.
And the
scene.
donkey scene,
Yes,
like that scene, like
yes.
scarred me as a kid when he got
Also
sent.
scarred me, bro.
When he got sent to the island and he was
Black
becoming
kids.
a jackass. Cause remember that's what they were saying. He was like, he's being a jackass. And he was turning and mutating into the donkey. I remember that.
Don't be a bad kid. Don't
Don't
smoke.
be a bad kid. Don't smoke
Turn-
cigarettes.
They're doing
And
Hercules.
do hood rat shit.
Oh, Hercules.
That was the one that popped into my head earlier.
Oh, okay, Hercules.
they're doing.
All right.
So I'm excited for Hercules.
They better have that
Look,
that
if
black
they,
church choir up in there.
if
That's
they,
all I
do
know.
right?
if they do Hercules
I need them
just
feels
like
when I
that,
hear the songs.
I'll be like, alright. I'll like it. Because if they try to make it like the historical Hercules,
Uh-huh.
then I'll be like,
Oh, sorry. I was good.
I don't want to watch that. Because like,
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't want to see historical Hercules if they're gonna do live action.
No, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I do
it's
too.
one of those things. Like we've seen so many of those Greek movies of the story of Hercules
Yeah.
and the the trials, the 12 trials or whatever it is he goes through. Like
The Arnold
we know.
Schwarzenegger version.
The Arnold Schwarzenegger
What's he
version.
talking about?
Well, that's Conan, my bad.
I'm talking about Conan the Barbarian. That's on a whole
wrong-
nother.
that's a
Same thing, same thing.
Shut up.
No,
it's not. He was a barbarian. He was
The
not.
Rock
He
played
was not a
Hercules,
Greek.
That's
That's right. The Rock did Hercules.
which is a mediocre movie. But anyway,
Yeah, but that was based on a graphic novel. That story.
yeah, but
Hercules.
it was, but it still had the 10 trials, whatever.
Yeah, the 12 trials of Hercules.
But even though
Fighting
he's
the
short in
Indian
the
lion.
yeah.
Yeah,
But whatever.
I got you. But yeah, no, I get it. You don't want it to be another one of those like historic timepieces.
Yeah, because at that point,
you want to keep
in,
that cool, goofy element.
yeah, because in that
Seeing
in the
it.
cartoon, it's already in the cartoon movie.
Yeah,
it's
no,
already
it is.
like not historical. So why be historical now? You know,
Right.
so.
Right. I mean, the only thing they kept true were like some of the Greek gods and goddesses and the relationships between them. But other than that, yeah, no, they shouldn't. I mean, if they do Hercules, I hope they don't go that route like they did with Jungle Book and the other ones, Lion King and Mulan. I hope they kind of keep it. Like I want to hear the musicals because I enjoyed the musicals
Exactly.
Hercules, yeah,
from Hercules. Definitely one of the better soundtracks.
Just silly and fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
I heard they did. I mean, they did well with Aladdin. I didn't get a chance to see it, but I know Alexis enjoyed it. She said the music was great. They kept a lot of the same songs. So
They added songs.
they even added more songs.
Jasmine's female empowerment song. That was
right.
awesome.
That's right. You see
That was a good song.
Brie Larson flies across
What do you have for me, Peter?
the...
A magic carpet?
I couldn't help it. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I had to.
Can't have anything serious with these men.
Oh,
That's right. Good for Jess.
there's also Prince Charming. They're gonna make a
Charming?
Prince
Ah,
Charming.
I could care less.
Prince Charming.
Ooh.
I could care less.
You mean the most boring character?
I know, right?
Real.
The guy that's barely in the whole movie.
God.
He comes in like 2 scenes
Terrible.
at the ball, and then when he meets her at the end, that's it.
So it'll be like a 2-minute movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Scroll credit.
What was that? What was
So
that movie?
funny.
I'll watch
movie.
They make
that.
that a short.
Huh?
I'll watch that.
Remember the Sleeping Beauty?
Oh, you mean Cinderella?
The Cinderella one with Moesha?
With Brandy?
Oh,
Oh, with Brandy? Yeah. I remember that one.
Yeah, that was good.
That was good. Disney did that one. Disney
Disney
made
did that one.
It was on ABC. It was an ABC
And
special.
Prince Charming he was a character.
Yeah, he was there.
They also have Oliver Twist. They're trying to make. Ice
Oliver
Cube is in
Twist?
the
Well, yeah.
Ice Cube's in the cast.
For Oliver Twist?
They're gonna make it like a hip hop
Woo!
spin to it.
Isn't Oliver Twist like a British story or play?
So can I have some more and maybe spit some hot fire?
Right? Can I get some more soup, sir?
Yeah, is it Charles Dickens story?
Yeah, it's a Charles
Yeah,
Dickens
it's
story.
Bruh.
It's gonna have rap music.
There's more.
Oh, I see Oliver Twist.
Oh,
And then they're going to have Twister. Remember Twister?
that's right.
He going to play Oliver. And he going to be spitting like fast rhymes.
And everybody can't get it. Like, oh,
They go, what did he say?
Slow
What
it
did he say?
down.
Put it back. Hot fire.
I bet the soundtrack is amazing.
oh boy, I bet.
Boy, they're going to, Disney going to write them checks for everybody. We're going to see Drake. We're going to see Chance. We're going to say, they already got your boy, Donald Glover. So
That's right.
he's
We're
already
gonna have-
in Disney franchise.
Yeah.
So they're going to pull him in. They're like, look, we know you do them songs for them, so look it up.
I'll have 50 Cent being the mean bad guy and all that.
That's right. He's going to be the one serving the soup.
It's like, no soup until you get my money.
Right?
There's a couple more, bro. But
There's a couple more.
We're good.
James and the Giant Peach, Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell?
Yeah, Reese Witherspoon. And Peter
Wow.
Pan, The Sword and the Stone.
So they've done Peter Pan like a billion times.
Yeah.
I think
yeah.
we're good.
I'm tired of Peter Pan.
And the last one, Lilo and Stitch, of course.
Oh hell
They
yeah.
go shoot themselves in the foot.
What, for Lilo and Stitch? You don't see Lilo and Stitch?
Are you ready to see
I-
your jumbo model in HD definition?
Then you can see. You should send Disney an email of your model and be like, let me work for y'all. That's all you should say. And then show the screenshot, do a shot-by-shot image of your jumbo.
We have to put that as the artwork for this episode. Okay?
Please.
Find your jumbo.
Put him on the TV screen on the YouTube.
Yes,
You need to-
please.
Just
Well,
have
you
Jumbo
know what
pop
you
up.
need to do? You need to get an image of it so we can print shirts and it says real Jumbo, real people.
Right. Or just put like Disney hire me. And they're like, what is that? What do you mean? You never seen Lilo and Stitch?
What the fuck is
So
that?
you guys are gonna know what we're talking about once you see like our artwork. You're gonna see the Jumbo is Lamb's model from school, and it is gonna be the best thing you've ever seen.
That's right.
Oh, I think it's the final boss in Arrow 51.
Jumbo's waiting. You gotta take the sun.
Like, wait like this.
T-pose and everything.
Hey, boy, he about to T-pose through the whole building. He about to blow everything over.
This T-pose slanted like this. When you get a map.
And then out of nowhere, explosion.
That should be a movie. That's a last movie.
That's the last movie.
His Jumbo's like in Area 51, like, father.
They'll have him chained up in the back room.
It's like Frankenstein's monster.
He's like, finally, father, you showed me love.
And then he just eats lamb. And he just starts crying as he's killing lamb. Father, why have you forsaken me?
That's the most emotional scene because
That is very
I
emotional.
accept you, Jumbo.
That's it. We just wrote the new script for Lilo and Stitch. Done.
I'm so ready.
Oh shit, I can't breathe.
Oh my gosh, too fun.
Oh gee. I need some water, bro.
Oh man.
Speaking of quick money schemes, what do you think of?
As we wrap it up.
What do you think of selling your bathwater?
I mean, I know to us it sounds ridiculous, and we're like, yo, this is crazy. Like, who the hell sell bathwater? People buy it, but
We'll give the backstory.
well, I mean, I don't know much about this girl. What's her name? Y'all know. Please.
Belle Delphine.
So Belle Delphine. So what, she's like a gamer girl on Twitch.
Well, not really a gamer. She's like one of those cosplay girls.
Oh, okay. So she's a
goes-
cosplayer. She's not even a gamer. Okay.
Yeah, she kind of goes overboard with her faces, like anti-faces, whatever.
She does the
She does
the
the-
hentai face.
What's it called again?
Ahegao?
Ahegao.
Yeah, Ahegao. Ahegao.
So it's when the girls like cross their eyes and stick their tongue out.
pretty much.
It's like the super perverted, like I mean, it's like I said, it's hentai.
Yeah, because
So it
the
comes out of the
hentai
manga
they
script.
animate it. They have to animate a girl orgasm, so that's they
Right.
put a face like.
So she
that.
does
Well,
that.
they have people act it out, and she's like one
Yeah.
of the actresses.
Yeah, it's like super cringy.
No,
It's-
she takes pictures of her doing the face, so she could make you spend $40 to buy it. A photo
Oh,
for her.
okay.
And then she also have videos where, like, she's in like tight clothing, and she has like eggs. Somebody just brings eggs and just splatters it on her. Like it splatters like all those eggs on her and smiles.
So that's the anime.
yeah,
And that's
it's
it.
weird.
So that's her
Gotcha.
doing the face.
Okay.
So that's her. Yeah, that's her.
Okay.
So this is the woman that's like selling her bathwater,
Mhm.
and like 40-year-old virgins are buying it. I don't know what else to say.
Who else is gonna buy
But I think
that?
the thing about
Them
that,
in like Japan.
Yeah.
but the thing about her and the thing about that that selling her bathwater is because she's part of that meme culture
Yeah.
type. So she's like memeing everybody, like, oh look, I can sell my bathwater, and like, oh, she sold out twice.
Yeah.
Right.
That says a
Well,
lot.
I'm about to make some extra income.
What
Let me get in
happened?
on that.
You got mad when we talked.
You want some 6 frames earwax?
Crazy.
Hey, 6 frames.
All right. It's crazy, but it's brilliant.
You want some eyelashes?
Guess what? At the end of the day, if she's selling it and people are foolish enough to buy it,
She's
I
brilliant.
can't get mad
I
at
know,
her.
right?
You can't get mad.
I can't get mad at her. She found the money scheme, and
Mhm.
like
19 years old,
super creepy guys are like
making more money than
you
all
know
of
what I
us
mean?
combined.
Yeah.
There's a little bit more, like a little
Okay.
more information about
Right.
her, but she apparently does like supposedly like not safe for work content, but like she's like the ultimate troll in the internet because she's like, hey, if you give me 1 million likes, I'm gonna do this, whatever. I'm gonna take a picture of myself or do something. But then she gets the 1 million likes, but then when you look at the photo, it's not what it is.
Right.
Or the video. So like she gets all the likes and all the views, but she doesn't give anybody what they want.
Who was it? You were telling us that the other day, right? Like she posts something online, like if you give me like 1 million views, like I'll post me with a BBC. People are like, whoa! So they go crazy because they're thinking, you know, BBC, big black cock. And then when she posts it, it's her with like a baseball bat cap or something like that. Like it's like a play on words because she knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
And then they click on it, like, yeah. And then you see it and it's her, you know. So they're like,
oh, you took my money. Oh,
you got me.
Yep.
You got me this time.
And I'll keep giving you more money.
You got me.
You're doing that.
When that bathwater come out.
They set alerts on their phones.
Right.
No,
Exactly.
Yeah.
When more becomes in stock.
Right, exactly.
It was funny, like
Get
when the water was
Get
sold, there's a lot of stories of people getting herpes with
Yeah.
it.
Bro,
Because
because it's nasty,
they open it and
filthy.
drink it.
But it was
or
a hoax though.
There's some that smoked it.
Oh,
Smoke
no.
the water?
But let me tell you, it's not true.
It was a hoax.
It is not
Okay.
true. Nobody got
They were just trying to like.
They tried to
Oh,
troll. They were
Gotcha.
trying to troll the troll.
People
Gotcha.
got to smoke
Yeah.
the water.
Oh.
Oh, like bong water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Oh.
Or vape it.
I
Vape
threw
the
up in my
water.
mouth.
I'm vaping her bath water.
Oh man.
I didn't think this would come into reality. I mean, you will see those like thirsty comments in like Instagram.
I'll
all
drink
around,
your bath water,
I'll
girl.
drink your bath water. I'll break my ding-a-ling in the
What? Ding-a-ling.
Like, I'll walk through miles with my ding-a-ling in the sand, broken glass, whatever, just to get to you. I don't know,
Why
bro.
does he have to
I
say
see-
ding-a-ling?
All right, now we're getting
That's
into
him
the.
censoring himself. You gotta let him censor
We're getting
himself.
into the dark web, y'all. Kids, don't listen. Y'all should have tuned out after Spider-Man.
That was PG right there.
Trust me,
Right.
I've
This is
seen
the
a
adult
lot.
content.
I'm gonna take my garden hose and put it on.
Oh
Bruh,
my God.
it's crazy, bro. It's
Ew.
crazy.
But for them to like actually follow through with it and buy the bathwater, you're like, all right, people.
Like, how do you think
People
people
are
are
weird, though.
selling them, like shipping them? Like, what is this? Oh, it's a container of like some woman's bathwater. They're like,
How does it
buy
get through
this?
TSA?
I don't even know.
I don't even know.
Maybe the packaging or something.
Is
I
this
don't know.
that? Is this?
It's like a little
It's a
container. Yeah, it's not that big. Like
I mean, it's not like you're selling your arm or like your skin because that is illegal to do.
right.
I mean, you didn't have to tell me that, Kevin.
Don't
I
sell
know,
your skin.
Just in case this, you know, it's illegal.
Don't
So,
sell your skin.
Just in
but,
case you were thinking about
but
it.
if you're gonna sell your bathwater, you can sell your bathwater.
Right.
That's what. Hey, people buying it. I mean, people watch people eat food on the internet, and
Oh,
that's
yeah.
like a fetish. So this is just
But-
another fetish that she's, gotten in, and then people are, they go for it. Whatever.
So
It is
the
what
moral
it
of the story is we gotta find a way to sell our bodies to make
externally.
is. Externally, that's right.
Yep.
So we're gonna do bath water. We're gonna do
Earwax. boogers.
earwax.
Nobody's gonna buy your stuff, guys. I'm sorry.
Well, not ours.
Not all.
Oh.
We're making plans for y'all. Where's Satan? Call Satan. We need all of y'all support.
The Six Frame Girl special.
Hey.
Just so you know, I'm writing this on my to-do list.
No.
Open up Patreon right away.
Who's gonna buy it? Somebody gonna link us. Watch. Somebody gonna write a comment. Ooh, so when are y'all
You're serious?
asking for a friend? Y'all playing or not? So,
Come on, is that you?
I'm a face.
The next thing you know, it's like Scooby-Doo is like...
Oh man.
I guess
This definitely went for a turn.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
man.
always start with Disney and then with porn. I don't know how it happens this
It's
way.
exactly where it should have gone.
Yes. And that's a successful episode.
I would leave that.
Alright, let's end it here before it
All
gets
right,
too
y'all. That concludes another episode of Six Flames. Brought to you by Korean Shea Butter. cookies with cream scented.
You can't eat it.
You can't eat it. It
But
smells good.
It's
though.
fire though.
We all got some on our hands.
Yeah.
We're gonna sell that next. We're gonna rub it on our hands and we're gonna scoop it back off.
Be careful, they clone you.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know if she's selling her bathwater. They
Oh,
clone
yeah,
her
that's
too.
Well, somebody did like a DNA test on the water. They didn't find nothing.
Oh,
But how do you do DNA tests
I
on
don't
bath
know.
water? I don't think that works.
I don't even
Does
know.
that even have? That doesn't have DNA on it.
oh, maybe she
You get
eating
DNA
it.
through like spit. Oh, that's
No, but the thing is, if you're bathing and
Son,
carries
people are weird, bro.
your dead
Yeah.
skin
People are
and all the things that
weird.
are in your body,
40-year-old
when you're taking a
virgins
shower.
in Japan
Uh.
are very weird. Okay, go. I'm just saying. It's serious. out there.
Let's just end this.
We're gonna get a
before
lot.
we-
We're about to get a lot of hate mail.
Let's just end this. Let's just end this.
Overseas.
Gonna be like, oh my
Do
god.
you think
No
that
shinderu.
what you're saying-
Let's
I'll
just-
have you
funny.
know this is my choice. Click, click, click.
I'm sorry. We should be selling bathwaters and vending machines next too. Huh?
Well, I mean, they sell panties in Japan.
My
so
point exactly.
it's coming. Don't worry. Don't worry.
No.
Bye.
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 Turn off.
Sup guys, Lamp here. Thank you for listening to Six Frames Podcast. If you like what you heard, consider subscribing to our YouTube channel at Six Frames Podcast. Don't forget to click the bell for notifications. If you want to talk directly to us, feel free to email us at sixframepodcast@gmail.com. That's sixframepodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Podbean and Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to subscribe and rate. You can also follow our artsy asses on our social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Take care and stay wild.